and we are in elected roles, which means the people have put us here, but for us to understand that you have put us here. And so in these leadership positions, I pray that we are mindful of the decisions that are made today and the lives that it affects. And I thank you for our unity as a group. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Haley will be late.
You will be late.
Commissioner Holzhausen.
Here.
Commissioner Johnson.
Here.
Commissioner Garber.
Here.
Commissioner Howard.
Here.
Commissioner Shepard.
Present.
Chairman Broder.
Here. All right, at this time, we need to approve tonight's agenda. I'll need a motion for that.
Support.
Got motion support. Any changes in today's agenda or discussion thereby? All in favor of approving today's agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And today's agenda is approved. Next, we need to approve the minutes of the June 18th, 2025 Board of Commissioners meeting. So moved.
Support.
Got a motion with support. Any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor of approving those minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Next, Commissioner Garber, you will need approval of the bills.
Thank you. I move to approve the invoice edit reports dated 6/19, 6/20, 6/26, 6/27, 7/2, and 7/3 in the amount of $3,682,515.44 and authorize the warrants to be drawn from Treasury for that amount.
Support.
I have a motion with support. Any questions or discussions regarding the bills? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, roll call vote please.
Commissioner Holzhausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson.
Yes.
Commissioner Garber.
Yes.
Commissioner Howard.
Yes.
Commissioner Shepard.
Yes.
Commissioner Haley is still tardy. And Chairman Broder.
Yes. Thank you. At this time, I will open the public hearing for the CDBG grant. Dr. Boggs, you want to say a few words before I see if the public has anything?
Absolutely. So as you know, we are applying for a grant through MISHDA. This is a zero match by the counties for $619,500, and it will go towards putting in infrastructure in the unfinished portion of Creek State. Sarah presented on this last week, or earlier this week, and gave you some additional details on it. We will receive 18% of indirect as part of the grant oversight. And this is in combination with one that the land bank will also be receiving about $1.5 million. So, and Jessalyn Taylor from Lion Bear Ventures is here today with us. Sarah could be here if you have any questions or comments, or anyone from the audience.
All right, so this is a public hearing. Would any of the public like to speak on this particular thing? I'm seeing no one, so if none of the commissioners have any comments, I will close this public hearing. Very good. We will move on to our regular chance for the public to address this board. I have one slip of paper here, Richard Mauer. If you'd come forward, please.
All right, well, I'm back to complaining about the towing contract that you guys are going to award to one person, and you want to award him all the county work on county vehicles and all the towing. I think that's about as crooked as it can be, and I don't understand why everybody would want one person to have all the work, and you see all the people that was here for that meeting, and you talk to us like we was trash. I think you're a bully myself, but all them people don't have a chance to bid on nothing. Isn't it funny that everything that the sheriff wants, his buddy has? Don't think something's going on? And they had a hazardous man call for him yesterday. They showed up with a truck with expired plates, not in Volke's name, Shiawassee. And why does he get the county work? And I never got a chance to bid on one county job, and I've been in business in this county since 1977. And I've done towing for the sheriff, and I've done towing for the state and for the city, and we had 0 complaints. And Rick Volke's got a whole stack of complaints against him. He always has been. He tows cars in, steals the catalytic converters, he hides them so he can overcharge people. And nobody seems to care about anything about stuff like that. Why does everybody want one person to have all the work in the county to do with the vehicles? Something is crooked here going on. And Rick Volke told me himself 100 times, and I could get 20 people in here, that when he got calls on his cell phone from the sheriff's department deputies and the state police, they'd call him on a cell phone. Hey Rick, we got a drunk or an accident here, come out and get it. He'd go out there and he'd give him a $100 bill. And he bragged about that to all kinds of people for years. And then all of a sudden, and he's got county equipment out there, the county 4x4. I think that county vehicle they had with the 4-wheel drive, the big one, that was found out at his place once. Nobody knew where it was. Why does he get all that stuff? What is the point of all this? And I know you guys don't answer questions and everybody's pretty arrogant around here. But I'm going to run, when you people come up for election, I'm going to run for one of you guys' jobs. And I think I can get it, because you guys ain't doing this right. Nobody, and you guys even said that you're going to vote on some waste recycling thing that's going to cost the county millions of dollars. Well, I didn't hear nobody ask, like, well, what happens to that recycled waste? Most of it goes in the same truck and goes to the same dump as everything else. Well, you guys want to saddle us with millions of dollars of its expenses, right? That's what I heard last time. And I know you don't answer questions or anything. And one of Rick Skokie's employees got, what, 10 years in prison for stealing equipment up north and bringing it down here and selling it, and stealing it down here and taking it up there. And whose records do you think he used? He used Rick Skokie's records. And for a long time, he didn't have insurance because me and him towed cars for the racetrack, and the guy's car caught on fire one night.
That's your 3 minutes. There will be another chance at the end of the meeting. Anyone else? Seeing none. Let's move on to committee reports. Commissioner Holzhausen, can we start with you today?
Yes, I guess so. I'm on the SEDP board with Justin Horvath, and he has lots of grants and things going on, and things are moving along there. Also, I'm on the health department board. Larry's office is doing great. They had a good report, and I think we give them some grant money from OPAID for nurses school, so that'll help. Also on the health and wellness, the mental health board, they're having to downsize. They have a, I don't know what they call them, group of people that kind of dish out the money to each county, 2 or 3 of them. There's 7 of them in the county, and the state says they're going to eliminate them all, and maybe only have 1. So they're all scrambling for the job, and maybe they'll get save a little money that way. I don't know if we need that many people doling out money.
No, you don't.
I'm on the Council on Aging, and I was just over at Morris, and they're having problems with that building, trying to keep it up. It's costing more than what it's worth. The city donated to the senior citizens, and they want to give it back, and they said they won't unless they do it. And the roof is leaking in places. They got walls that are bad, and they got a lot of things, and so I don't know what's going to happen there. We'd like to give it up or something. It's going to be too expensive. They're talking about thousands and thousands. They want to hire somebody to come in and give what the building's worth and how much work it needs, but some of them want $10,000 to do it. I hope maybe we can get somebody local in the county, maybe they, get somebody to do a little less than that, at least give some kind of appraisal value. So that's a big problem over there. That's it.
Thank you. Commissioner Garber.
I don't have anything for tonight, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I attended the Vernon Township meeting on Monday, and a couple things going on over there. One of the issues that they're experiencing right now is their millage for helping with the Vernon Library expired in '24. They were kind of unaware of that. And they don't necessarily have the funding in their budget to cover it. So you might see a special ballot request to put a request for a new millage for helping out the Vernon Library in November. That's what they're kicking on.
I heard something
More to hear on, you'll hear more on that.
for Vernon Township.
Yep, Vernon
Is
Township.
there time for that?
Yes,
They-
they have time.
they have till-
Deadline is August 12th.
Yeah, they don't have much time, but they have
If
time.
Wasso Schools put something on, Vernon Township could open.
Okay.
They instead of consolidating.
Okay.
So that would help in that capacity.
Yeah, so, whoops, sorry. There's that. And then, one of the other reasons that I was there was because Lucky Pets has moved their location and they're in the old Vision Lawn Care facility on Lansing Road. And they're trying to sell propane, and Vernon Township is kind of giving them a bit of a hard time getting their permits. However, it appears that they have approved a contract with Rowe Engineering to have somebody come out and do an engineering approval on that. So hopefully the ball's rolling for those guys. And that's all I got.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
Commissioner Haley?
Not much to report. Parks and Rec will not be meeting in August, just in terms of there was not much on the agenda, getting back together as ever.
Thank you, Commissioner Howard.
Yeah, I'll report on the planning commission. We met and we approved a site plan for a new gas station at the Woodhull I-69 exit. So there's a sliver of land between the exit ramp of I-69 on the south side and the west of the north-south road, the Woodhull Road there. So it'll be great to see a new gas station come in. It's the Kruger's Family Market, if you know that name of the market in Vernon. So it'll be a gas station plus family market style type building, so that'll be good to have that come into the county. That's the only thing I can report.
Thank you. It was good to see development.
Yes.
Commissioner Shepherd?
I'll expand a little bit. I believe they're going to go putting smoked meat in that store too at the location on Woodbury and Lansing Road, which will benefit a lot of people instead of having to go 127 past St. John's there. Just to expand a little bit on what's going on with Morris. Their contract says that it has to be in good condition for it to be turned back over to Morris. And like Gary said, why should we have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars on a building that's never going to make out because of the roof situation and leaks and the windows and blocks, freezing and unfreezing and expanding the foundation. And GLS, I have a meeting next week for Region 5 in I-69 trade corridor. That's about it.
Thank you. All right, then at this time, we'll move on to committee motions and reports. Commissioner Howard, could you get us started?
Yeah, absolutely. I would move to remove from the table and approve resolution number 25-06-08 for a brownfield plan for Lennon Road redevelopment, Lennon, Michigan, pursuant to and in accordance with the provisions of Act 381 of the Public Acts of the State of Michigan of 1996 as amended.
Support.
I have a motion with 2 supports. Dr. Boggs, you want to say a few words on this one?
So as you know, last month we tabled this because Lennon had not taken up the TIF plan. This past Monday, Sam and Greg and myself, along with Justin Horvath, Eric, and Sarah were all out there to their meeting. They did vote on it and they did approve the TIF plan. So what this does is, in conjunction with the grant application, they're going to build 4 new houses on a property that's owned by the land bank, and it's part of a tax recapturing plan. But if we get the grant from MSHDA, which I'm hoping that we will, it will lower the amount of time that they don't get taxes from 21 years to 5 years, which would be a win-win for everyone in building these homes. And Sam is here if you have any questions or if you'd like to say anything to the board.
Sure. No, I did get the opportunity to present at your meeting last month. We had a great meeting with the Village of Lennon on Monday night. talking about the intricacies related to completing these housing development projects and the need to braid funding together. So overall, as Dr. Box mentioned, the grant will significantly reduce the repayment time period. We're primarily looking to support infrastructure costs associated with putting in a sewer system and wells to serve these affordable houses. So we're happy to be here for you this evening. If you've got any questions about specifics in the plan, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Any further discussion or any questions? In that case, I suppose we'll need a roll call.
Commissioner Johnson.
Yes.
Commissioner Garber.
Yes.
Commissioner Howard.
Yes.
Commissioner Shepard.
Yes.
Commissioner Haley.
Yes.
Commissioner Holzhausen.
Yes.
Chairman Broder.
Yes.
That concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Garber.
Thank you. I move that we approve the appointment of Commissioner Garber, myself, as the MERS delegate.
Support.
Motion with support. Any discussion on that?
Just noting that the MERS delegate has to be a MERS member, and that is only Cindy or Gary.
Okay. Scraping at the bottom of the barrel on that one.
We're the last two standing, Gary.
All right. All in favor of approving that appointment, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations.
Thank you. I move that we approve resolution number 250710 for the Michigan Community Development Block Grant CDBG funding application.
Support.
Motion with support. Dr.
This
Box.
is a public hearing we just had on this application. This will move forward to completing that subdivision to build some much needed new homes and increase our tax base.
Always good. Any questions or further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Garber.
Yes.
Commissioner Howard.
Yes.
Commissioner Shepard.
Yes.
Commissioner Haley.
Yes.
Commissioner Holzhausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Broder.
Yes.
I move that we approve resolution number 250711 authorizing entry of participation agreement and partial settlement of the National Prescription Opioid Settlement.
Support.
Motion with support. Discussions, questions? Dr.
So,
Box.
as you know, we're part of a series of ongoing class action lawsuits towards opioid settlement from damages that have been done to the community, or higher police presence that have to deal with opioid-related issues, as well as health department issues related to opioid abuse. This is the latest of an ongoing series of settlements. This one's for $158,000 with Sandoz.
All upside for us. Any further questions? A roll call? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Howard.
Yes.
Commissioner Shepard.
Yes.
Commissioner Haley.
Yes.
Commissioner Holzhausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson.
Yes.
Commissioner Garber.
Yes.
Chairman Broder.
Yes.
I would move to allocate $289,182.05 of the designated opioid funding to the jail nurse contract as a result of opioid treatment for inmates.
Support.
Motion with support. Discussion?
So as part of that money that we received, it has some restricted uses, including that of remediation of opioid-related conditions. As such, this qualifies by our attorney's advice, not this one, but the ones that are settling the class action lawsuits for us. And since we've incurred these damages, it's an acceptable expense to spend that on the jail nurses. This will remove some of the money that local taxpayer funds that support the jail nurses now and put it back on our settlement dollars, and we'll be able to free up those local tax dollars. This is part of the damages that the county has incurred, and so now it's time to shift that from the local budget to this settlement fund.
Greg, if I could add one. I have been, for the past year or so, keeping track of, MAC does reporting, and it is voluntary, on how other communities are spending this money, and public safety and public health are the top two. So that's, public safety is where we see the biggest impact to, in my opinion, counties. So.
And that's, that makes sense because, let's face it, the opioid epidemic has cost government units that have to enforce the law a lot of money. So it's good to get this little bit of help.
Right.
Further comments or questions, anyone? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Shepard,
Yes.
Commissioner Haley,
Yes.
Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Chairman Broder.
Yes.
I move that we approve the recommended first and second quarter budget adjustments for wages and benefits, general ledger, and all other funds as presented.
Support.
Motion with support. Discussion on that one?
Well, budget is a living document. We make adjustments throughout the year. This is both the first and second quarter adjustments. It balances to zero. Things such as salaries, healthcare costs that change, supply changes, results in inflation, tariffs, there's other things. We have to balance it out throughout the year. And we've managed to maintain a balanced budget, so the changes are neutral.
Any questions? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Haley,
Yes.
Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Shepard,
Yes.
and Chairman Broder.
Yes.
I move that we approve the contract for towing services with All Star as presented.
Support.
A motion with support.
Very briefly, so we awarded the bid to All-Star in May. From now until then, or from then until now, Eric Morris, the county attorney, the undersheriff, and the sheriff, and myself met with them and ironed out the details of the contract. You will notice there are some stipulations that have been added to the contract, such as restrictions on certain driver abilities, particularly if there have been justice involved. Also, the contract price has gone down on some of the areas or remain the same, as much as 25% on some of the costs associated with it.
All right. Comments?
Just one quick question about that. I know it's in the contract, but for the record, the 25% reduction, if those do not remain at that percentage, what is the ability for the sheriff's office to basically walk away from the contract?
Well, the sheriff's office can walk away from the contract without any reason upon given notice, period, no matter what.
Okay.
And the provider is obligated to charge fees to customers in accordance with the schedule that is agreed upon in the
Okay, in
contract.
accordance.
So it is binding upon them.
Okay.
And that would be a breach of the contract if they were to charge fees that are not in accordance with the established schedule.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Well, it was mentioned in public comment that there was a license plate on the Hazmat vehicle that was not of All Stars ownership. It was a PEG something.
Okay. I don't know about it.
Well, if it's under ownership of All Star, should it not be registered under All Star and not still under PEG's company?
I think that'd be a
By
question
state
for
law.
the sheriff. Are you asking a question of the sheriff?
I don't check license plates.
What?
I don't think
a contract yet.
I don't think we check
Well,
license
that would be
plates.
something
It's
that,
up against the sheriff.
yeah, if that's all discussed in the contract with our requirements, I don't know what happened in the city of Owasso. It wasn't one of our calls, I'm sure. But like I said, once we have a contract in place, that's something I can watch and take care of.
Again, I guess I wanted to point out once again that sheriff is elected sheriff. This is his deal. Our job is budgeting. This has no effect on the budget. We technically approved the contract. It is a legal contract. It is within his budget. It doesn't affect anything. And at least that's my attitude about it. It doesn't seem the job of this body to second guess how an elected official manages his department, whether the sheriff or the clerk or the register of deeds. All of them are elected. We don't go into the drain office and tell them which ditches to clean and so on. However, when the drain office wants a new piece of equipment, we do make sure it's within his budget and so on. We don't tell them what piece of equipment to buy or which ditches to clean. This is similar. This is a law enforcement prerogative. And that's why I have not personally done much to delve into the details of this, because it is not part of my function as a commissioner to tell the sheriff how to run his department. People don't like what the sheriff does. The sheriff is an elected position, and they can talk to the sheriff about it, and they can cast their vote on election day. We are handling our budget, we are handling the business of the county, and I think we've done that with this contract. We have approved a contract that fits within the parameters and the legalities of what he's doing and our budgeting. That's all I had to say. Gary?
Yeah, I don't approve it. I think we're, all the other little contractors in the county that do towing, it's gonna put them out of business. I'm just looking out for the small guys, and I think it's gonna open us up to some legal problems. You say it's not a contract, but if we got a contract with the county and they approve it and he approves it, it's gonna be more liability. Otherwise, if he goes out and tows the car, it's all his responsibility. There's no contract or nothing, so I don't think it's right. I disapprove it.
But if someone is not a licensed mechanic, how can they be working on vehicles, like you said?
None of our business. Could I call the question, please?
Question has been called. For calling the question,
It's a roll call vote.
do we need to go beyond calling a question?
I just vote on the issue.
Okay. At this point, we'll call the question, then a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Holzhausen,
No, can't even talk. That's crazy. Hope you guys are happy.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Shepard,
No.
Commissioner Haley,
Yes.
Chairman Broder.
Yes.
I move to approve the minutes of the July 14th, 2025 Finance and Administration Committee.
Support.
A motion support. Any discussion on those minutes? All in favor of approving those minutes signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Minutes are approved. And Commissioner Garber, we're going to stick with you.
Thank you very much. I move to approve the appointment of Amy Doyle to the Community Mental Health Board.
Support.
I have motion support. Any discussion on that appointment?
Very briefly, there are a few people that are interested in that, but because that board has very particular restrictions on how many of this you can have and how many of that you can have, Amy Doyle fits the bill for what is allowed for this particular vacancy. I know we have some other government officials who are interested in other vacancies when they come open, but she does meet the criteria for this and has been approved by the board chair of Community Mental Health, and is a recommendation of the board chair of this body.
Any other discussion? All in favor of approving that appointment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that is approved.
I move to allocate up to $30,000 of opioid settlement funds to the Health Department to provide drug remediation support for New Directions consumers.
Support.
I have motion support.
As we discussed last time when we heard a presentation, this is again part of the opioid remediation, and this money again is not being sent out beyond the county, but is being allocated to the health department, to the health department's budget, and they will provide additional services up to $30,000 worth to New Directions, which is in Owasso, and it's a drop-in center, and they will be doing things related to drug screening, drug counseling, opioid treatments, and things of that nature. And we had anticipated that we'll give them the $30,000, and we'll see if they will not get any more before the end of this calendar year. If there's any left after this calendar year, it'll carry over to the next, and we'll build it into the budget. If this is a program that is successful and the board wishes to move forward in 2026.
Any questions?
I had one comment. We did have the CEO of Health and Wellness, Ryan Painter, here yesterday, as you may recall. New Directions does great work, and if he hadn't run for Mr. Owasso, there are so many people that had no idea that it was even there. I was at the CCAB meeting today, and there was a young man, a recovery coach, from next door, from Recovery Pathways, he had no idea what I was talking about. No, he had no idea this resource was in our community. So I truly believe this is money well spent. They will do a lot with $30,000 to help people. So.
Good.
And again, it's an allocation to our local health department, and they will provide the service.
Yep.
Further questions? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Haley,
Yes.
Commissioner Chairman Broder.
Yes. Thank you.
I move to approve the contract extension for medical examiner services with Sparrow Hospital Association.
Support.
Motion with support.
So very briefly, so they want to take the contract because of having to have full-time medical examiners, changes in statutes, et cetera, from 205 a year to 250. However, we were on an odd cycle when we renewed the contract. So it was the middle of July, and I negotiated with them an extension at the current price through the end of this fiscal year so that it does not impact our budget. And then we will begin looking at this for next year at a different rate. Last night, the board did ask for some statistics about some of the things they did. And so let me read to you these cheerful statistics from the medical examiner, which is one of the departments I hate to supervise. There were 196 death calls investigated in 2024. 7 of them at assisted livings, 134 at residence, 12 on the outside street roadway, 3 in hospice, 36 at Owasso Memorial Hospital, so they also use the same service, 4 at nursing homes. 27 were ruled accidents, 12 falls, 9 motor vehicle crashes, 6 drug-related incidences, 1 homicide related to a firearms incident, 155 natural deaths, 11 suicides, 8 of which were firearm, 2 asphyxiation, 1 drug, 2 undetermined because of falling down steps or sudden infant death syndrome. 47 were transported to Sparrow Hospital. The bodies were, of those 42, had autopsies performed of them. Of those 42, 5 were part of what I call long-term storage, and there were a handful of unidentified bodies, including at least 1 veteran. The physician signed 73 death certificates that they have, and were approved 519 cremation permits, and 84 gifts of life were from those bodies to people across the state. So it's about $1,000 a person.
Yeah, we won't save any money anywhere else, so.
And as I mentioned earlier, the unclaimed bodies, if they're a veteran, they were taken to Fort Custer, where they were part of an internment ceremony. I did not go to that one, but if they were a civilian, that was an unclaimed body, all of the unclaimed bodies for the region, which is a 5 or 6 county area, were then taken to the Diocese of Lansing, and they cremated them and interned them in the All Souls Crypt in Lansing, and had a mass for them on All Souls Day, which the chairman and myself attended.
Any other questions?
We had 0 complaints from the customer.
Any questions? Nothing? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Shepard,
Yes.
Commissioner Haley,
Yes.
Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Chairman Broder.
Yes.
I move that we approve the minutes of the July 15th, 2025 Health and Human Services Committee meeting.
Motion support. Any discussion on the minutes? All in favor of approving those minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those minutes are approved. Thank you. Just a couple of comments. We did, I was very pleased that we did get through the project in Lennon. That was approved, and that's going forward. There was a lot of work by the land bank. There's a lot of work by Dr. Boggs and others, Sam, and there were too many people to even mention, and we were rather surprised with the first round in Lennon. It didn't get through, but we explained things to them, and it was approved the other day. That project is going forward, And I strongly suspect it is the first of many over the years that will be this public-private partnership, because the cost of building has gone up so much that working with the tool, the tax increment financing, is going to be one of the ways that we get development, and we all know we need more housing in this community. So a little bit at a time, we've got that. We've got a project in Durand. There are other things being talked about, especially if one of those mega sites gets built in the near future. We're going to need a lot more housing. So that has all been good. Been very pleased with the land bank. We still are struggling at community mental health. Nothing particularly new there, but we're working on it. I think it's a very important function in the county to have a healthy community mental health, because these are the people who really do need some help. Mostly other than that, it's been pretty quiet. So I'll turn it over to Dr. Boggs for any comments.
So we just finished the audit, so next we begin the budget cycle once again. So in the next coming months, we'll begin setting up, we'll be working on our budget memos to department heads. We'll begin setting up budget meetings, creating a projected budget as we move forward, planning for 2026. So the first half of the year is usually reflecting or doing an autopsy of the previous year, and the second half of the year is preparing for the budget for the next year. So that is one of our main projects on the horizon. Further, tomorrow will be a very busy day. We'll be selling bonds of $7.5 million for Pleasant View. That process will start tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock and will be wrapped up by 12:30, or at least that is the hope, and we'll begin that project very soon. Pretrial services, we had a meeting of the CCAB today, and we have exceeded our guidelines, our expectations with the state, and the number of, I don't know what Mark calls them, number of clients served, or the number of people that we had anticipated.
Way exceeded it.
Way exceeded it, and it's been a very successful program, largely due to his innovative way of approaching it and his hard work of putting it together, and he deserves thanks for that. We've turned in the next grant, and we're waiting for our award. Finally, we will be working to finish both grant applications for the land bank and the TIF documents that we need, and the grant application for the city for Mishta. All I have. Thank you.
Any questions for Dr. Boggs? Any commissioner comments before we move on to public? All right, this is the second opportunity for the public to address this board. Anyone? Richard?
I just want to say that I still don't understand why all you people, except for two, want to give all the work in the county to one person who's got bad character, all kinds of complaints. He's known to be a thief. His employees sell stolen stuff. And you guys, none of you guys done any homework whatsoever. And what entitles you to make these kind of decisions to put people out of business? They've been in business for a long time. What gives you guys the right to do that without doing any homework whatsoever? You didn't do nothing. And what are you going to do? We're going to give the sheriff control over the ambulances next because he got voted with no competition? What's next? What are you going to give him? You know, Hitler was elected, Mao was elected, a whole bunch of people were elected, and a whole bunch of people on the board gave him power that they didn't have. So they could run roughshod over everybody. Why does him and Rick Goki get to negotiate prices that every citizen in the county is going to have to pay if the sheriff calls him a wrecker? And if he charges them $500 record bill and $200 a day storage, and he makes a complaint, nobody in this room is going to care except for two people who can see through all this bull. Now I'm just disappointed in how this county government works, and I'm going to run for one of you guys' job next time we come up for election. I just want to let you know, because I'm thoroughly disappointed in all you guys. Yeah, smile at me,
Yeah.
smugly, arrogantly.
Get out.
Yeah, I get your hint. Everybody's a crook.
Anyone else? All right, then we're adjourned.